What would you do if you found something valuable left behind? What would you do if you discovered something valuable that a stranger had left behind, something that could change your life forever? For Lila Rivera, a chance encounter in her modest workplace led her down a path of unexpected twists and profound consequences. Lila, a determined 28-year-old waitress at the Amber Diner in Cedar Grove, had always been known for her unwavering work ethic and warm smile. Balancing long shifts at the diner with caring for her ailing mother and younger sister wasn't easy, yet she never allowed life's hardships to dull her kind spirit. Regular customers cherished her genuine friendliness, and even on the busiest nights, her positivity shone through, lighting up the small yet bustling restaurant. That particular evening, the Amber Diner was alive with the familiar clatter of silverware, the gentle murmur of conversations, and the soft strains of a background melody that seemed to echo the pulse of the town. Lila moved gracefully between the tables, her practiced efficiency evident as she balanced steaming trays while mentally ticking off the tasks for the night. Amid the delightful chaos, the door swung open and in walked a tall, impeccably dressed man whose presence commanded immediate attention. This man, dressed in a sleek, tailored suit with a subtle air of authority, was Victor Hayes, a self-made billionaire known for his relentless drive and business acumen. Despite his usual association with elite establishments and exclusive privileges, on this night he had sought refuge in the unassuming comfort of the Amber Diner, craving a brief moment of solitude away from the burdens of his corporate empire. Victor's entrance did not go unnoticed by Lila. As he strode confidently into the restaurant, his intense yet weary gaze hinted at a story that extended far beyond his polished exterior. Choosing a quiet corner table, he set his sleek leather briefcase beside him and took a seat. Lila approached with her customary warm greeting. "Good evening, sir," she said, presenting him with a menu and a gentle smile that had brightened many a weary soul over the years. Victor, however, barely spared her a glance, his focus glued to his smartphone. "A steak, medium rare, and a black coffee," he curtly ordered, his tone brisk as he continued typing rapidly on his device. Unperturbed by his distracted manner, Lila nodded politely, her mind briefly wandering as she wondered about the man's story. A mixture of intensity and exhaustion that set him apart from the regular clientele. Within minutes, Victor's steak arrived, perfectly cooked, and he consumed his meal with rapid efficiency, his phone never leaving his hand. He was clearly waiting for an important call, one that could determine the outcome of a multi-billion-dollar deal. Every so often he glanced at the screen, the anticipation unmistakable on his face. Then, just as he took his final bite, his phone buzzed, and the urgency in his expression deepened. Grabbing his phone and briefcase in one fluid motion, he answered the call. "Yes, I'm ready to finalize the terms," he murmured in a low, controlled voice before swiftly disappearing into the night. In his haste, he left behind something he would soon regret. A sleek black wallet that rested forgotten on the edge of his table. Later that evening, as Lila returned to clear the table, her eyes fell upon the abandoned wallet. Immediately struck by its weight and the unmistakable quality of its craftsmanship, she whispered to herself, "Someone must have left this behind." Cradling the wallet in her hands, she scanned the busy dining room, hoping to catch a glimpse of the man in the suit. But he had vanished into the dark night. Curiosity and caution compelled her to pry the wallet open just enough to inspect its contents. Inside, she found several high-limit credit cards neatly arranged, a significant stash of cash tucked away in one of the compartments and, most intriguingly, a small folded piece of paper. Unfolding the note with delicate fingers, Lila read the handwritten message. "If found, please call 555-123-456-7. Feeling a surge of responsibility, Lila hurried to the back office of the Amber Diner and dialed the number on the note. The phone rang twice before a recorded message echoed back. "The number you are trying to reach is currently unavailable." Frowning slightly, Lila hung up and placed the wallet into the restaurant's lost and found drawer, silently hoping that the owner would eventually realize his mistake. Yet, as the night wore on and her shift came to an end, she found herself unable to shake the mystery of the forgotten wallet. Who was this man, so engrossed in his own world that he had carelessly left behind something so valuable? And why was the wallet so important that it came with a handwritten note bearing a telephone number? Later that night, As Leela sat at her small kitchen table with her mother and sister, the image of the wallet loomed large in her thoughts. Noticing her distracted expression, her mother asked gently, "What's on your mind, Leela?" With a hesitant sigh, Leela recounted the evening's events. "A man left his wallet at the diner tonight. It looks expensive and there's a note with a number to call. I tried, but no one answered." Her mother offered a warm smile and said, "You always do the right thing, Leela. I know you'll find a way to return it." Strengthened by her mother's quiet confidence, Leela resolved to try calling the number again the next day. She promised herself that if the wallet was truly important, she would ensure that it reached its rightful owner. That night, as Leela lay in bed, her mind swirled with thoughts of the mysterious stranger. The man with the sharp suit, the focused expression, and the hurried departure that had hinted at a life weighed down by responsibility and unspoken burdens. What if the wallet contained not just money but secrets that could alter the course of many lives? The possibilities danced at the edges of her imagination, and she vowed that she would not rest until she had done everything in her power to return what wasn't hers. The following morning, sunlight streamed through the windows of Leela's modest apartment in Cedar Grove, but she couldn't shake the lingering unease from the previous night. With determination, she retrieved the wallet from its safe place in the Amber Diner's lost and found drawer and dialed the number on the note once more. This time, after a few rings, a deep, calm voice answered. "Kelu kom advance vada adves? Arfa ada," became the response. Leela's breath caught in her throat as she spoke. "Hi, is this the owner of a wallet left at the Amber Diner last night?" There was a brief pause on the other end, then a hint of realization in the man's tone. "Yes, I was there. My wallet, I didn't even realize it was missing." A small smile tugged at Leela's lips. "It's safe. You can come by the diner to pick it up," she offered. "Thank you," the man replied, his voice noticeably warmer. "I'll be there this afternoon." That very afternoon, Leela stood nervously near the counter of the Amber Diner, waiting for the mysterious man to return. Every minute felt like an eternity, and she found herself replaying the night's events in her mind. When the door finally opened, Leela's heart skipped a beat as the man in the sleek suit stepped inside once more. His confident stride, his commanding presence, and the unmistakable air of authority immediately caught her attention. Approaching the counter, he said simply, "Thank you for keeping this safe." As Leela handed him the wallet, she watched intently as he carefully opened it and inspected its contents. "Everything's here," he murmured almost to himself, then looked up at her. "You didn't touch anything, did you?" he inquired softly. "No," Leela replied firmly. "It wasn't mine to take. I just wanted to make sure it got back to its owner." The man's brow furrowed slightly as he processed her answer, and after a brief moment he reached into the wallet and pulled out a business card. "Do you know who I am?" he asked, his tone gentle yet inquisitive. Leela blinked in confusion. "No, I'm sorry, I don't believe we've met before." With a small smile, he handed her the card. Leela's eyes widened as she read the embossed lettering. "Victor Hayes, CEO of Hayes Enterprises." "You're the billionaire?" she whispered, feeling a rush of embarrassment for not recognizing him sooner. Victor chuckled softly and replied, "I try to keep a low profile when I can, but yes, that's me." Recalling the note that had been enclosed in the wallet, Leela hesitated before asking, "There was also a note in your wallet. Was it for something important?" Victor's expression turned serious. "That note wasn't just important, it was critical. It contains contact details for a deal worth billions of dollars. Had I lost it, the consequences would have been significant." Leela's heart sank at the thought of how close he had come to losing something so vital. "Velda, so I didn't know," she stammered softly. "I just thought it was the right thing to return it." Victor studied her for a moment, his gaze thoughtful and steady. "You had access to everything in this wallet, cash, cards, even my identity. Most people would have taken advantage of that. But you didn't," he said. "Why? Because of who you are?" Leela straightened her shoulders, her voice steady as she replied, "Because I work hard for what I have. My mother always told me that honesty matters, even when no one's watching. Taking something that isn't mine would have gone against everything I believe in." A faint smile curved Victor's lips as he said, "You are a rare kind of person, Leela." Reaching into his pocket, He then produced an envelope which he pressed into her hands. Lila hesitated before slowly opening it. Inside, she discovered a check for $100,000. Her jaw dropped in astonishment. I can't accept this," she managed to say. "You can and you will," Victor insisted firmly. "This isn't charity. It's a reward for your integrity. You could have cost me everything, but instead, you chose to do the right thing." Tears welled in Lila's eyes as she whispered, "This will help my family so much. I don't even know how to thank you." Victor's tone softened as he replied, "Just keep being who you are, and if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out." A week later, as Lila was closing up her shift at the Amber Diner, she received a package addressed to her at the diner. Inside was a handwritten letter from Victor, its message tender yet firm. "Lila, you reminded me that integrity still exists in this world. Enclosed is another gift, not as payment but as an investment in your future. Use it to make your dreams come true. Best, Victor." Beneath the letter lay a deed to a small bakery in Cedar Grove, fully paid for in her name. Lila's hands trembled as she read the words, and tears streamed down her face. Unable to contain her gratitude, she immediately called Victor. "Why would you do this for me?" she asked, her voice choked with emotion. Victor's voice was calm and warm as he explained, "Because people like you deserve a chance to succeed, and because kindness has a ripple effect. I know you will pay it forward." In the weeks that followed, Lila's life transformed in ways she had never imagined. The deed to the bakery was more than just a property transfer, it was the key to a new beginning. With renewed energy and purpose, Lila began planning how to turn the small bakery into a community haven. She envisioned a place where everyone, regardless of their background, could gather for delicious food, inspiring conversations, and a sense of belonging. Drawing on the lessons of her past, she dedicated herself to creating an environment defined by warmth, honesty, and compassion. Lila's journey was not without its challenges. As she navigated the complexities of business management, she encountered moments of self-doubt and overwhelming pressure. Late nights were spent poring over financial documents and meeting with potential partners, all while balancing the demands of her personal life. Yet every time she felt the weight of the world upon her shoulders, she remembered Victor's words and the simple act of returning a wallet that had changed everything. It was that integrity, that steadfast commitment to doing what was right, that gave her the strength to persevere, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. In the early days of her new venture, Lila worked tirelessly to restore the bakery's charm. She repainted the walls, replaced old fixtures with modern ones, and even recruited a small, dedicated team from within the community. The bakery soon became a beacon of hope for the people of Cedar Grove, a place where families gathered for fresh baked bread, aromatic pastries, and hearty meals made with love. Regular customers who once passed by without a second glance now stopped to chat with Lila, praising her for her vision and the uplifting spirit that permeated every corner of the bakery. Word of Lila's inspiring transformation spread throughout the town, reaching even the ears of local media. Soon, her story became a symbol of how one small act of honesty can have far-reaching effects. Not only for the person who receives the act of kindness, but also for the entire community. Lila was invited to speak at community events, where she shared her journey of perseverance and the belief that integrity, no matter how small, always pays off. "It's not about the money," she often said in interviews. "It's about staying true to yourself and making sure that your actions reflect the values you hold dear. We all have the power to change the world, one honest act at a time." Meanwhile, Victor Hayes continued to observe Lila's progress from afar. Though he maintained his low profile, his interest in her work grew as he saw firsthand how the values he cherished were being transformed into tangible improvements in the community. In quiet moments, Victor would think back to that fateful night at the Amber Diner, how a single wallet, forgotten in haste, had set off a chain of events that ultimately reminded him of the profound power of integrity. He recognized that even amidst the high stakes of billion-dollar deals and relentless corporate pressures, it was the simple, human moments that truly defined a person's worth. As the months turned into a year, Lila's bakery blossomed into a thriving enterprise. With each passing day, she expanded her vision, introducing community classes, supporting local charities, and even establishing a mentorship program for young entrepreneurs who dreamed of building businesses grounded in fairness and empathy. Leela's journey from a humble waitress at the Amber Diner to the proud owner of a bustling bakery became a living testament to the idea that true wealth isn't measured solely in dollars and cents, but in the lives one touches along the way. One crisp autumn afternoon, as golden leaves drifted gently to the pavement outside the bakery, Leela received an invitation to a high-profile charity gala in the city. The event, known for celebrating business leaders and philanthropists, was the perfect opportunity for her to share her story on a larger stage. Nervously, she accepted the invitation, determined to honor the legacy of the kindness that had propelled her forward. At the gala, as she stood on stage to speak about her journey, Leela's voice trembled slightly at first, but soon grew steady with conviction. "I stand before you not as a business owner," she declared, "but as someone who learned that even the smallest act of honesty can change the course of one's life. Let us never underestimate the power of doing what is right, even when no one is watching." The audience erupted in applause, and in that moment, Leela knew that her story had become a catalyst for change, inspiring others to pursue a path defined by integrity and compassion. In the days and years that followed, Leela continued to build on her success, expanding her philanthropic endeavors and working closely with community leaders to address the systemic challenges that had once seemed insurmountable. She never forgot the lesson that had changed everything: the simple act of returning a wallet, a moment of pure honesty that revealed the true measure of a person's character. And while Victor Hayes remained a discreet supporter from behind the scenes, his influence was felt in every initiative Leela undertook. Their paths, once crossed by chance in a busy diner, had intertwined to create a legacy of generosity and social impact that resonated far beyond the walls of Cedar Grove. Years later, as Leela walked through the renovated streets of Cedar Grove, a town transformed by community spirit and the power of kindness, she often reflected on the chain of events that had brought her to this point. The wallet, now safely returned to its owner, had been the spark that ignited a movement within her. It reminded her that while money and power can open many doors, it is the courage to act with integrity that truly shapes our destinies. With every smile she shared, every meal she served, and every new opportunity she created for others, Leela paid forward the gift of honesty that had once changed her life so profoundly. In quiet moments at the bakery, when the hustle and bustle of daily operations slowed to a gentle hum, Leela would sit by the window and remember that fateful night. The memory of the sleek black wallet and the hurried departure of Victor Hayes served as a constant reminder that even in a world filled with distractions and superficial pursuits, there is always room for a single act of decency to change everything. It was a truth she carried with her every day, a truth that she shared with her community and with every person whose life she touched. Victor Hayes, too, continued to be inspired by the encounter. In his own high-powered world of boardrooms and business deals, he found solace in the reminder that the most valuable assets are not found in bank accounts or contracts, but in the character and compassion of individuals. He occasionally visited Cedar Grove in disguise, not to draw attention to his status as a billionaire, but simply to witness the ripple effects of kindness that had been set in motion by one brave act. In private letters and quiet conversations, he would express his admiration for Leela's resilience and unwavering commitment to doing what was right, even when it meant sacrificing his own convenience. As time went on, the story of Leela Rivera and the lost wallet became something of a local legend. It was recounted in community gatherings, featured in local newspapers, and even served as an inspiration for a new series of public service campaigns that championed honesty and integrity. Schools invited Leela to speak about her journey, encouraging students to embrace values of compassion and responsibility. In a world often defined by the pursuit of wealth and success, Leela's story was a shining beacon that reminded everyone that true success is measured by the positive impact one has on the lives of others. One particularly memorable winter evening, during a community celebration in Cedar Grove, Leela was honored with an award recognizing her contributions to the town's social and economic revitalization. Standing on a stage beneath twinkling lights, she spoke with heartfelt sincerity about the transformative power of a single moment of honesty. "I never imagined that returning something as simple as a wallet could lead to such extraordinary change," she said, her voice resonating through the crisp air. But every act of integrity, no matter how small, has the power to create a ripple effect that transforms not only our own lives, but also the world around us. I am forever grateful for the chance to live my truth, and I hope that my journey inspires each of you to stand by your values, even when it's difficult. Victor Hayes, seated among the audience that evening, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He recognized that in a world driven by competition and material success, it was the quiet moments of compassion that truly redefined the future. His decision to reward Leela was not merely a financial transaction. It was a profound statement about the importance of integrity in every aspect of life. And as he watched Leela receive the standing ovation, he knew that the choice she had made that fateful night was a beacon of hope for generations to come. In the years that followed, the Amber Diner and Leela's Bakery continued to flourish as symbols of community resilience and the transformative power of doing what is right. Leela expanded her outreach efforts, establishing programs that provided job training and financial support to those who had faced adversity. The ripple effects of her kindness spread far beyond Cedar Grove, touching lives in neighboring towns and even inspiring national conversations about the value of integrity in today's fast-paced world. Victor's influence extended as well. While he maintained his low profile in the business realm, he became an outspoken advocate for ethical leadership and social responsibility. His quiet interventions, like the one that brought him face-to-face with Leela at the Amber Diner, became legendary among those who believed that real wealth was found in the strength of one's character. Through philanthropic initiatives and partnerships with community organizations, Victor worked tirelessly to create opportunities for individuals who, like Leela, had the courage to stand by their principles. Every so often, when life in Cedar Grove seemed to settle into a comfortable rhythm, a new challenge would arise. A moment that tested the values that Leela and her community held dear. In each instance, whether it was an economic downturn, a natural disaster, or a moment of social injustice, the story of the lost wallet and the incredible chain of events it had set in motion served as a powerful reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can become a catalyst for lasting change. Leela Rivera's journey is a testament to the enduring power of honesty, compassion, and perseverance. It is a story that illustrates how a single, selfless act, rooted in the belief that every person deserves respect, can transform not only an individual's life, but also the very fabric of an entire community. In a world where so many are tempted to look the other way, Leela's choice to do what was right, even when no one was watching, became a shining example of the impact one person can have. As Leela continued to build her legacy, she never lost sight of the lessons learned on that unforgettable night at the Amber Diner. The sleek black wallet, that had once seemed like a simple accident, had revealed a truth that resonated deeply with her. Integrity is priceless, and every small act of kindness can change the world in ways we might never fully understand. Her story serves as an enduring reminder that while material wealth can open doors, it is the wealth of one's character that ultimately defines us. For Victor Hayes, too, the encounter reaffirmed his commitment to using his success as a means to foster positive change. His quiet admiration for Leela's unwavering honesty spurred him on to create more opportunities for those who demonstrated the same commitment to doing what is right. His belief in the power of integrity echoed in every business decision he made and in every philanthropic endeavor he undertook. In his heart, he knew that the ripple effect of kindness, set in motion by one extraordinary act, had the potential to reshape the world for the better. Today, as the story of Leela Rivera and the lost wallet continues to inspire new generations, it reminds us that even in the most ordinary moments, there exists the potential for extraordinary change. In every forgotten item, every misconnection, and every act of honesty, there lies an opportunity to make a difference. And as Leela's journey shows, sometimes the path to a brighter future begins with a single decision: to do what is right, no matter the cost. In the end, the true value of what was left behind was not measured in dollars or credit limits, but in the strength of a human spirit and the promise of a better tomorrow. Leela Rivera's experience teaches us that when we choose to return what isn't ours, when we honor our commitments to integrity, we create ripples that can echo through our lives and the lives of those around us. It is a lesson that remains as relevant today as it ever was, that the most valuable treasures are found not in material wealth, but in the honesty and compassion we share with one another. And so, when you find yourself confronted with a choice, whether to turn a blind eye or to stand up for what is right, remember Lila's story. Remember that a single act of kindness, however small, can set in motion a chain of events that transforms not only your own life, but also the lives of countless others. In a world that often measures worth by appearances and material possessions, it is the quiet, honest hearts that shine the brightest. What would you do if you found something valuable left behind by a stranger? Would you seize the opportunity to change someone's life, knowing that the consequences could ripple far beyond what you ever imagined? As you ponder that question, consider the legacy you wish to leave behind. For Lila Rivera, that legacy was born from one simple act of honesty, a legacy that continues to inspire those who dare to choose integrity over convenience and compassion over indifference. In the years that have passed since that fateful night, Cedar Grove has become a community that embodies the spirit of giving back. Neighbors support one another, local businesses thrive on mutual trust, and every individual is encouraged to stand by their values. Lila's Bakery, which began as a modest dream nurtured by a single act of integrity, now serves as a community hub, a place where people come together not just to enjoy delicious food, but to share stories, exchange ideas, and build a future founded on empathy and mutual respect. Victor Hayes' quiet influence, too, has left an indelible mark on the community. His belief in the power of integrity has inspired many within the business world to look beyond profit margins and to invest in initiatives that uplift those who have been overlooked. His philanthropic endeavors have set new standards for corporate social responsibility, proving that true success is measured not only in revenue, but in the positive impact one can have on society. As the legacy of that lost wallet continues to grow, so too does the reminder that every act of honesty, no matter how small, carries the potential to change lives. In every corner of Cedar Grove, from the bustling diner to the newly thriving bakery, there is a shared understanding that what truly matters is the way we treat each other. It is a belief that has transformed individual lives, strengthened community bonds, and set a powerful example for future generations. And so the story of Lila Rivera and Victor Hayes remains a testament to the idea that, in our everyday lives, there are countless opportunities to make a difference. Each time we choose to do what is right, we add our own unique ripple to the vast ocean of human kindness. In the end, it is these ripples, born from honesty, compassion, and unwavering integrity, that have the power to reshape our world for the better. As you carry this story with you, ask yourself, what small act of kindness can you perform today that might change the course of someone's life? How can you contribute to a legacy of integrity that inspires others to believe in the power of compassion? The answer lies in the simple yet profound choices we make every day. And if, like Lila, you choose to honor those values even when it's difficult, you may just find that your life, along with the lives of those around you, will be transformed in ways you never thought possible. In the quiet moments of reflection that follow our daily struggles, it is important to remember that every act of kindness is a seed planted in the fertile ground of hope. Over time, these seeds grow into mighty oaks, their branches stretching far and wide, providing shelter, strength, and inspiration to all who seek refuge under their boughs. Let Lila's journey remind you that the true measure of our lives is not found in the material possessions we accumulate, but in the goodness we sow in the hearts of others. This is the legacy of a single lost wallet, a legacy that began with a moment of serendipity and blossomed into a beacon of hope for an entire community. It is a legacy that teaches us that even when life seems harsh and unyielding, there is always a chance for redemption, for transformation, and for the rediscovery of what truly matters. And it is a legacy that lives on every time someone dares to choose honesty, compassion, and integrity over the fleeting temptations of self-interest. May the story of Lila Rivera and Victor Hayes inspire you to seek out the extraordinary in the everyday, to embrace the power of small acts, and to recognize that each of us has the potential to spark a change that resonates far beyond our immediate lives. For in the end, it is not the grand gestures that define us, but the quiet, steadfast commitment to doing what is right, even when no one is watching. So, the next time you find yourself in a moment of choice, remember, sometimes the most valuable treasures are not those that glisten in the light, but those that shine from within. And it is in these moments that the true essence of our humanity is revealed, setting the stage for a future built on trust, love, and the unwavering belief that every act of kindness makes the world a little bit brighter.